Welcome to Chris Veve Journey, where I take you on a trip to Veve, always as an adventurer, never as a financial advisor, so please invest with caution. So today is the day we got the announcement for the Master Collectors Program. This is super great, to be honest. This is what I will talk about the most right now. And after that, we talk about today's drop and we talk about the new announcement for the new drop on Saturday, or the 2 drops on Saturday. We'll go over that, but first of all, I will talk about the Collectors Program in detail. We go over the whole website about it, and I also listened to the AMA. I wrote down a lot of the stuff from the AMA. The AMA took a few hours, I guess 2 hours, maybe 3 even. I guess it was just 2 hours. Just felt very long. So there wasn't too much info on it. Also, I had some sound problems. I didn't hear every question, but most of it. So I guess we're good. Yeah, let's go back to the browser view. So that is something I'll show you in the end again. It's actually a Veve set list, but yeah, let's talk about the Veve Master Collector Program first. So the Master Collector Program, we all were waiting for the info. Let's get over it real quick. So quick summary, what is happening. Every Veve app user will automatically be enrolled in the Master Collector Program. But in the AMA, it was stated it kinda only works from the point on where you collected your first item. Like you have to purchase something or at least get something transferred so that you own a collectible for the program to start. Which is a little contradictory because it says you also collect points while being active on the app. So I don't know if that is 100% right that was said in the AMA, but makes sense. I mean, it's a statement we got so far, right? So points will be awarded retroactively to all active Veve users. That means if you started in November 2020, you do get all the points you accumulated from that point on. That means everyone who's been quite some time on the app has a huge advantage this time. All new Veve collectors are entered into the MCP starting at level 0. So yeah, that is true. But on the flip side, as I said, everyone who's been there for a few months will have so many points collected that they already will be at level whatever. So that's interesting. Collectors level up by earning points from in-app activity. So that's basically what I just said. You did earn points. They get rewarded retroactively, and that will help you to level up. Collectors can earn one-off points and or daily recurring points. That is super important to know which points will be rewarded once and which points will be rewarded daily. Once the required points are earned, the collector will proceed to the next level. Yes, that will also happen automatically, but not only automatically, it's also exponential. That means the first few levels are way easier than the next upcoming levels. Every level will be harder to achieve. Collectors can spend earned points on various features and products within Veve. Spending points does not affect your level or rank. So that is very, very important. That means you don't have to collect your points or whatever. It means just earning points is the thing that gets you to level up, and you can spend your points all the time. Collectors also will earn a rank based on their level and points earned. So that's the other thing. It's mostly about level, ranks, and badges. So that's the 3 things we will have to worry about. The collector's rank position is determined by the activity relative to other collectors. So that's the important part. The levels is where you just level up. That means if, I don't know, you need 100 points to level up to level 10. Okay? So everyone who has 100 points will automatically level up to level 10. Your rank is different. There will be 23 ranks, and the ranks will be measured in percentages, and that means you're always competing with other Veve active users. So if you're at the top spot, I mean, you have the highest rank, then there's a possibility that other people are more active on the app, collect more points, and have more collectibles and all this good stuff, and then you will lose your rank to someone else. So that is a really competitive point here. So here's all the stuff in detail. Level points. In order to level up, a collector must earn points. Points are awarded to collectors for in-app activity. For example, points can be earned for one-off actions such as purchasing a collectible and or earned daily by owning collectibles or holding completed sets. Once earned, points can be spent on various in-app items and are non-transferable. Points can be earned from the following activities. One-off points. 100 points when completing new user onboarding. So that basically means you get 100 points whenever you register. So that's 100 points we all get for sure because we're already on there. So you get 100 points when you complete a set. That is, you get, for every set you already have, you will get 100 points as soon as the program starts. So here's something that was also talked about in the AMA, which is really interesting. You get those 100 points for a set just once. You can't go ahead, like let's say you have a Superman. Then you get 100 points because Superman is a whole set by himself. You can't just sell Superman, buy Superman back and get another 100 points for completing a set. That's not how it works. You can't play the system, right? That's great. It's awesome that they thought about it. So you get 25 points when purchasing collectibles in the store. Important, so every drop gets you 25 points if you're able to get something. And which makes store items very interesting. I mean, they got rid of all the Captain Americas. They were still left in the store, so those are only on the marketplace now. But there are still Star Trek ships in the store, the Borg Cube and the common and the uncommon ships, so the Borg Cube and the Enterprise. And those will still give you 25 points, while when you get them on the marketplace, you might save a few bucks, but you only get 15 points. So you're missing out on 10 points each. So there's a variable amount when earning an achievement badge depending on achievement type. So achievement badges basically are just in video games. If you achieve something, you get a badge for it, and then you will get points for it depending on what the achievement is. So daily recurring points, that is the real interesting part. So collectors can earn daily recurring points based on their collection and in-app activity. So collectibles, 1 point is given for each collectible owned. That is great news. Basically, every collectible you have gets 1 point. Doesn't matter if it's comic or collectible, you just get 1 point for everything. That is even easy to think about, right? So if you want to think about how many points are you actually getting, it's easy. It's 1 point for every collectible you have. Awesome. Also, another point that is really awesome. If duplicate collectibles are held, these will be subject to diminishing points. Means the second collectible you own, if it's the same, you only get 0.75 points. If you got a third one, it will only get 0.35 points. And if you got a fourth collectible or even more, it will only give you 0.1 point. That is awesome, because if you think about it, if someone has bought 100 common comic books, right? I don't know, some were down to $10. So if you invest $1,000, then you have 100 of those books. And that would mean you could get potentially 100 points because you have 100 books. So that's not going to work. You get 1 point for the first in your collection. The second one will only get you 0.75 points. The third one 0.35 points. And the fourth up to the 100 ones will only get you 0.1. So you only get 10%. You need 10 books to get 1 point. That is pretty great, because someone who invests so much in the same collectible should be rewarded, right? I mean, you spend a lot of money. I mean, spending 1K is spending 1K no matter what you get. So you already invested 1K into the app. So you do get more points, but you're not getting so many points that everyone says they can give up, right? That's a good thing. So it's not like if you can't spend $1,000 on commons that you're out of the game. No, that's a bit of fairness. I really love that. So collectible bonus points, collectibles of specific rarities and or mints will receive bonus points. So these do also apply to the comics, right? The rarity bonus points. So you get 0.2 points for rare, 0.3 points for ultra rare, 0.5 points for secret rare. Those are also not cumulative. It's not like if you got a secret rare, you get the plus 0.5. the plus 0.3 and the plus 0.2. No, right? You get only the 0.5 points. So half a point basically. That is kind of the one thing that I saw here, which I thought that even to me, even though I got no secret rare and I'm jealous on everyone who has a secret rare, I think for a secret rare that's pretty low point wise. I mean, those are so expensive, those are so hard to get. If you're not just a really lucky guy and are just happy that you just found a secret rare in a drop, you just get half a point extra. I wouldn't have been mad if you get a whole point extra. I would have thought, cool, that's cool for the people that have it. I mean, most of them spend a lot of money on it. It's fine. But you only get half a point, so that's really nothing to complain about. The low edition bonus points are a little bit different, because for collectibles, it's everything sub 150 mint. So remember, the first 40 pieces from the collectibles are always set aside for the company and, I don't know, other stuff. So the rarity, the mints usually start at number 41. That means everything sub 105 is only 109 pieces that are actually available that can be sub 150, because it's basically mint number 1 up to 149, because 150 is not a sub 150, and from those you have to subtract the 40, so it's 109 pieces. That is really low and really hard to get. That is hard. Gotta stay hydrated. I talk so much. Exactly, that's what I need. So, the digital comics, those are different because that was more in-depth explained in the AMA. So the thing with the comics is, the first comics that were released, they were keeping the first 400 mints. Or they were keeping 400 mints. I'm not even sure if it's the first 400. It seems like it if you look at the marketplace, but some things I heard were a little bit contradictory, so I'm not even 100% sure about it. But let's say, so 400 mints are reserved. But later that was changed with further releases. They went down and only reserved 200 pieces. That's why it says digital comics with the first 150 pieces available to the public. Because that doesn't mean it has to be mint number 1 to, or at least not mint 41 to 149. That's basically a little bit different. So let's say for the first comic drop they made, they reserved 400 pieces. That would mean you would get bonus points for the first 150 available to the public. That would mean everything under 550. Yeah, every sub 550 piece you would get would basically mean that's it. Right? Yeah, 550. That's the number. Okay, so collectible sets. That's the most important part. And that's the part I love the most, because I have to say it. I have to say it. I'm sorry I have to say it. I told you so. Yeah, I told you so. You think Captain Carter is worth 500 bucks? No, I told you so, right? Okay. I had to enjoy this moment, okay? Because I had so many discussions about it. I thought it was so crazy that Captain Carter was being so hyped. And now I can tell you why. So, as sets offer varying numbers of collectibles, the points earned are based on the number of collectibles within the set. Which was pretty clear from the start, at least in my opinion. So a set with only one collectible, like Captain Carter or Superman for example, they get 1.5 points on top. So you get 1 point for them being a collectible. You get 1.5 points extra. So that means Superman is 2.5 points. And Captain Carter is even 2.7 points because she's a rare and gets the 0.2 bonus, right? So Captain Carter makes more points than Superman. That's quite funny. So, if you have a set of 2 collectibles, if they make the whole set, you get 2.5 points extra. If you have a 3 collectible set, that's 3.5 points extra. If you got a 4 collectible set, that's 5 points extra. If you got a 5 collectible or more set, you get 6 points extra. So here's my problem with Captain Carter. People were always saying she needs to be in the 500s, and at her highest point, she was going for 500 bucks, right? 500 gems. My point was for 500 gems, you get the Star Trek set, which is basically 4 pieces. So that means a Captain Carter set. Like I said, you get for Captain Carter 2.7 points. The Star Trek set will give you 4 points for being 4 collectibles, 5 points for being a set. So that's 9 points. And you get the bonus for having an ultra rare and a rare. So you get 9.5 points for the Star Trek set, which is just a little bit more expensive than Captain Carter. I mean, even if it was 100 bucks more expensive, that's 2.7 points against 9.5 points, right? That was always what I was trying to tell people, that the Star Trek set will make a lot of more points. And this is a daily thing. So every day you get like triple the points from Captain Carter. More than triple the points, right? It's almost 4 times the points. So that it was so clear to me. That's why I sold her way too soon. But yeah, I'm not mad. So yeah, that does matter how many pieces has a collectible. And that's why I think the Star Trek set is even still great, because you get extra points because 2 of them you can still buy in the shop. They are not sold out. That's 20 points extra. And you get all these extra points from here. Just awesome. So duplicate sets. If you own 1 or more of the same sets, the additional sets are subject to a reduced amount of points versus unique sets. So the second set will only get 30 points extra. The third set 20 points. The fourth set just 10 points extra. Okay, for a second I thought I heard something. Sorry. My bad. So it's just late. Okay, that means it also, like with having double collectibles, you get less points. One thing I'm not sure about is the rarity bonus points, right? I wasn't sure if these rarity bonus points get applied to collectibles that were duplicates. And it doesn't say they are not added. So there is a possibility that if you have like 5 times the same collectible, 5 duplicates, and if it's an ultra rare, you would still get the 0.3 bonus on top of it, even though the collectible itself will only get the 0.35 points. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if I missed this in the AMA, if somebody has asked about it. So I don't know, but still pretty fair, right? They get reduced points for the sets, reduced point for the collectible. I think even then it's still fair. So digital comic series. That is also super interesting. If a collector owns all released issues in a specific series, they will receive 5 points daily. For example, if Veve has released 4 issues of Amazing Spider-Man and the collector owns all 4 issues, they will receive daily points for each issue, plus 5 points for owning all released comic issues in the series. If an additional issue is released in the series, one must collect that issue as well to continue earning the comic series points. The comic series qualifies for points when 3 or more issues in the series have been dropped on Veve. So this is pretty huge. There's a lot of info there. So first of all, you need to get educated if you aren't already aware about comics. You need to get educated what a series means, right? The specific series. We have 5 Spider-Man comics on Veve right now. No, we got 4 Spider-Man comics on Veve right now. But only 3 of these 4 are the series Amazing Spider-Man. The other one is Web of Spider-Man. That does not count towards this. Also, we got 2 Hulk books on there, but one is Incredible Hulk, I guess it was Incredible Hulk, right? And the other one is the Immortal Hulk. So that's 2 different series. Don't get this mixed up. That's important. So in their example, they're talking about Amazing Spider-Man. That is the only book right now that has the minimum of 3 books. Right? You need at least 3 books for these 5 points to work. Everything that has just 1 or 2 books in a series, you don't own these 5 points already. But everything that has already 3 issues from the same series gets the 5 points. So that's super important because Amazing Spider-Man is the only one we have that has 3 issues already, because we have Amazing Spider-Man 1, we have Amazing Spider-Man 50, and we have Amazing Spider-Man 361. If you own any rarity of those 3, one of each, not of each rarity, but one of each number of the series. For example, if you got the common Amazing Spider-Man 1, you got the uncommon Amazing Spider-Man 50, and you got the rare Amazing Spider-Man 361, you're good. If you got only the commons, you're good. It doesn't matter the rarity. So you have all 3. You have basically every issue from the run that is available. Then you get the 5 points for owning them. Now, mind you, those are retroactively, right? It already counts. Since they have released Amazing Spider-Man 50, the clock is running. I was lucky enough that I actually have bought Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 361 already, and then I got the Amazing Spider-Man 50 in the drop. So for me personally, I get all the points that are being to get, that you can get for it, right? So I get them all with all the 5 bonus points for every day. So there's quite some points I will amass until the point MCP is released, which is pretty happy for me. So that is interesting to keep in mind, right? That's what you need to wrap your head around. Also, what's really important is if another book comes out, so let's say they release Amazing Spider-Man 800 next, you will also need to buy that. If you don't buy that, you no longer get the 5 points for owning all issues of a series. And here comes a very important point. So this is very important, right? Listen, no one talked about it yet. So this right here, let me show you. I go to the big screen for a second. Right? So this is pretty iconic, Mutant Genesis 2.0 X-Men. This is a Jim Lee cover, who is just basically the best comic book artist ever of all time. So this is a hardcover. This contains 6 single issues. So now, what I talked about in my last video, maybe you were listening, I don't know, if you haven't, I said maybe Veve could come up with these paperbacks that when you collect 6 issues, consecutive issues, that they give you a paperback, a complete storybook. And this should be something like secret rare, ultra rare, I don't know, only available if you bought the 6 consecutive issues beforehand. But aside from that, let me tell you something else. House of X and Powers of 10. So these are basically one story, right? It's 6 issues House of X and 6 issues Powers of 10. All these 12 make up one book in the real world. But in general, I don't know how we will treat them, but in general, it's House of X 1 to 6 and Powers of 10 1 to 6. These would mean if Veve releases House of X issue 1 up to 6, there are no more comics coming, right? That's the end of the series. It's a mini series. It's just 6 issues. So if you collect all these 6, if you just have the comments from all these 6, you can lay back and you will collect daily your 5 bonus points for having the complete series and will never have to worry about buying another one of that series again. So those are real game changer. Those will be very important to have minis. Even if it's a maxi series, like a 12 issue thing, a 9 issue series, whatever. Those are pretty interesting. And it's kind of funny that we have House of X1 and Powers of X1. It almost looks like they will release House of X issues 1 to 6 and Powers of X issues 1 to 6. And those would be super interesting. And if this was planned beforehand, it was smart because everyone wasn't really nobody had a real incentive to buy the House of X and the Powers of 10 books, right? They were looking great, but they were not as special as all the others. But if we get them, if you get all 6 issues, they are as important as the others because you can make a lot of points with them and you're free until after you get the 6th issue. With the Amazing Spider-Man now, I mean, I'm happy I got those, but they will release a ton of Amazing Spider-Man issues, I'm sure, because there's a lot of key issues for Amazing Spider-Man. And every time they release it, I have to buy it. I have to buy it if I want to keep getting those 5 daily points. And there's a lot of stuff. I mean, if it's Incredible... Is it Incredible Hulk? I think it was Incredible Hulk. But the Incredible Hulk line is also very big, so they can release a lot of issues for that. So you need to keep up and always get the newest one. Web of Spider-Man, not so many, but also a lot. Yeah, but the mini-series ones like House of X, Powers of X, I mean, they have big potential because they are short-lived, only 6 issues in. Having those is easy, right? That's the thing. So keep that in mind. And yeah, try to get educated about the books which have a long history, which have many issues, and how to separate the different series. Okay? Right. So let's keep going. There was a lot of talking about the comics. So in-app activity, 1 point is received for all in-app activity actions. In-app activities will have a maximum limit of 25 points per day. That's tough. In-app activity includes daily logins, sharing, commenting, liking, market listings, etc. Additional activities will be added in the future. So that's interesting. And this is something where I think, okay, look, the whales that have a lot of collectibles usually will be people that don't have too much time. Because I'm just thinking most of them will likely have a hard job where they spend a lot of time that they can't be too active on the app. And this is something you can try to keep up a little bit. I mean, it's just 25 points. If someone has 5 sets, he's so far beyond these 25 points. I mean, whatever. But still, it's 25 points you can get a day. And depending what the accessories will cost, I mean, maybe that's good enough. I will try to get these 25 points each and every day. And my daily schedule is full. I don't really have time. I mean, recording this video, I mean, it's 2:15 in the morning for me right now, recording this video. So, yeah. I don't have much time, but I will try to get these 25 points daily, I'm sure. Might have to stop playing Fortnite. Earning points. Points are earned on activities, transactions that take place within the VV. Recurring points stop accruing after 14 days of inactivity. So that's huge. That's also huge, and you need to keep that in mind. If you're not active in the app for 14 days, you don't get your reoccurring points. Your daily points stop accumulating if you are out of the app for 14 days. And I'm interested to see if it will be enough to log in within these 14 days, or if they even make it harder and you need to do anything. Logging in is easy, but doing anything means taking aside a little time for the app. So that's going to be interesting. And again, something I think can level the field and make it a little bit more fair. Points have a shelf life and must be spent within 6 months of earning. That is also huge. So these whales can't just accumulate an unlimited amount of gems. Points, my bad. So if they have the points, they need to spend them within 6 months, and that also kinda gives you a level of points, how many points can actually be accumulated within these 6 months. So that's great. That's great. It's also something that keeps it a little bit more fair. I mean, we won't have a fair thing. If someone is rich, if someone has all the collectibles, or he's just super lucky with collectibles, he's better off. 100%. You can't compete. It is what it is. But Veve is doing a lot to keep things fair. I was really afraid that this would be way harder to keep up. But these are all really good functions, right? Points are calculated and applied once per 24-hour period at a set time each day. So yeah, that's interesting to know, but not too special. Oh, this talking makes me thirsty. So points have 2 decimal places. Okay. Earned points may change during certain periods. Example, double point bonus days. So that's interesting. Double point bonus days. I mean, in the marketplace, if you buy something in the marketplace, you get double points. that means you don't get 15 points, but you would get 30 points. That is interesting. It's also interesting if it crushes the limit of 25 points per day, but in general, having double point bonus days sounds awesome. Retroactive points, we talked about it. You get the points for all the time you have your stuff already. Safety measures. There will be additional measures in place to prevent users from exploiting, abusing, or otherwise gaming the system, so don't make any rash decisions about your collections or purchasing activity based on this article. That is also great. So they will make sure people don't game the system or abuse it by staying flexible in what they do for the stuff. As an example, for how the way the points are now distributed, you are not really incentivized to buy uncommon comic books. Really, the only reason to buy an uncommon comic book would be that you already own all the common comic books and you don't want that 0.7 points, but you rather want the whole full point, and then you go one up the ladder and say, okay, I buy the uncommon before I buy another common. Where I still think buying the common, at least for the first 3 pieces, I guess, it makes still more sense to buy the common if you look at the price and the way the points are distributed. But otherwise, if you're not completing sets in collectibles, and in comics, it doesn't matter anyway. So yeah, the uncommons maybe not so wanted anymore. But like they said, they will change stuff for safety measures, and there is a possibility. Don't go off and just sell your uncommons now. I was thinking about it myself, selling my uncommons, buy more commons, because I don't have the commons from all the comic books. So that was an idea, but yeah, maybe that is something that will still switch up. It was also said in the AMA, this is basically what the MCP is going to look like, but it's not finalized yet. So there is still room to change stuff. There's actually at the end of the page a button that you can press, and you can state your concerns or bring your ideas in, and they will take that into consideration. Don't use Twitter or whatever. Use the form provided at the end of this page. I will link the page in the description of the video, okay? If I don't forget it. So, levels, ranks, and badges. The Master Collector Program consists of levels and ranks. Levels start at level 0, new user, and increase as the collector earns points. Each VV collector also has a rank, and the collector's rank position is determined by their activity relative to other collectors. For example, the top percentile of the collectors will likely have a high level and the rank of Master Collector. So that's what we basically talked about. That's all the stuff I already told you about. Here in detail, the levels. Each collector's level is displayed on their profile page within an MCP badge, and the collector level shows where their profile is visible, such as on their profile page, feed posts, or market listing. This I find quite interesting, because on the market listings, it would help you to decide if you want to buy from someone who doesn't have a badge. Like, you know, if you're fighting bots, bots won't be able to accumulate much points, so they wouldn't have an interesting badge. And that would mean in the market you could see, okay, so that's someone who doesn't really collect, and you could decide actively not to buy from such profiles, right? That's what we can do actively against bots ourselves. Just a thought. As collectors reach specific milestones levels, they will gain access to items and new or expanded features within VV. For example, milestone 3D level badges, example 1 for every 10 levels, displayable in showrooms. Expanded profile, a free number of premium market listings, more below. Expanded AR features, drop lottery access, accessories, exclusive content, level-based chat rooms, and more. I think that sounds fascinating. In my opinion, that sounds pretty great, having these level badges. The level-based chat rooms sound great. Expanded AR features sounds great. So that is pretty cool, right? And you can flex in your showroom with the badge. So some stuff is more in detail explained here. So the rank. Along with levels, the MCP consists of 23 ranks. The collector's rank is based on their position relative to other VV collectors. Like I said, very competitive. The lowest rank is Bronze 1, and the highest rank is Master Collector. The 23 ranks are divided based on percentages. For example, the highest rank Master Collector is reserved for the top percentile of collectors. So in the AMA, it was stated that this most likely will be a 1% thing. That only 1% of the collectors will be Master Collectors. Unlike levels, ranks are not static or kept permanently. As a collector, your rank position can move up or down based on your performance relative to other collectors. For example, you might be a mid-tier rank, and if your rank was to increase, you may replace a collector in a higher rank who would move down a rank position. Like I said, really competitive. Badges. Various activities within VV will reward collectors with achievement badges. For example, completing a set. Badges are displayed on the collector's public profile, and some badges can be added to your showrooms. When a new badge is earned, the collector will receive points. So, like video games, badges are pretty cool, and you can show them off and flex in your showroom. I mean, the achievement badges in that case, which is cool. I don't know if I really need this, but I mean, it's a flex on top of it, so I guess you might as well get it. And it kind of shows, I don't know, if I was to buy from someone, or if I was to spend time with people on the app and interact a little bit more, you would like someone that is at least as active as yourself, right? That would be interesting. Or maybe if you see someone doesn't have any badges or whatever, and that he's, I mean, essentially a new user, maybe you're a little bit nicer and try to help out, right? That would be a nice thing to do, I guess. So I think that's a great idea here. Drop Lottery. So this one is tough, so I'll just read it and then we talk about it. The MCP Drop Lottery gives collectors a greater chance to obtain a specific collectible in an upcoming drop. A small percentage of editions of each rarity in a drop will be made available for this lottery. Users can participate in the drop lottery by wagering points they have earned. The odds of winning in the lottery are weighed by the number of points a collector wagers relative to other drop lottery participants. The top group of people, number varies based on edition size per drop, who wager the most amount of points are guaranteed a collectible. This is not a raffle system. So this is the biggest point here. This is not a raffle system. You're not throwing in some of your level points, of your points, not level points. You don't throw in your points and get like a ticket in a raffle. That's exactly what's not happening. It's way more competitive. It's basically saying, okay, so they explained it a little bit more in the AMA. So before, that's even explained down here, but I'm not going to read all of that, right? So before the lottery starts, before the drop starts, there will be a time for the lottery. So, and when the lottery starts, you can tell, like, you can wager in 500 points, right? So you wager in 500 points. You set the tone. You say 500 points. You want this collectible, beat me. And then others go in, and you don't see how many points have been wagered. Like, it's not like on other ways where lotteries where you can see, okay, so the highest bid is at 15,000. No, you have to throw in your points, and those points are already lost, right? That's the thing. You don't get your points back. You don't need to get the collectible to lose your points. Your points are gone as soon as you wager them in. So that is a tough decision, right? So you wager your points, let's say 500 points. Those are gone for sure. And you don't see what's the highest wager on points, but the system, at least that was said in the AMA, will show you how many people are before you. So it would basically tell you, like, there's 3 people ahead of you. And then you have to decide how many points will you wager, what do you expect, how many points they have wagered already to get on top of it. And you don't need to be number 1, right? That's depending on how many collectibles will be set aside for the lottery. It's only a small percentage of the overall collectibles. So that's interesting. If you think about it, that's a system that makes you burn your points like crazy. I don't think that in a high level ranks, like for secret rares or ultra rares, every normal collector, regular collector would be able to compete. I think we're talking about burning thousands of points in a day. Easy. Because if people want it, they can have it. So the bad news is if you are not a collector with a lot of sets, and I think like you would need like 20-30 sets at least to play in a level that you can kind of play in this lottery. I mean, maybe this will be a master collector thing, like only the top 1% will actually participate and win. But that was talked about in the AMA, and I had some sound problems, so I'm not sure. But it sounded like there's a possibility that this will be for a drop in all rarities. So if it's not a blind box and you got a piece with common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, secret rare, there's a possibility there's a lottery for all of those. So the big whales with the big points, they will go for the secret rare and the ultra rare. So there's a chance for yourself, or let's say regular collectors, that they can take their saved up points and try to at least assure themselves a rare or uncommon, or maybe even a common if you really want it. And this is something that I have to say again, this really speaks to the collectors, not to the flippers. That is really something that goes for the collectors that would say, oh, this uncommon is awesome, it's great, I want to have it, I want to secure it, and you can use your points, wager in, and possibly secure it. There's a good chance because the whales will probably not go for that one. So that's interesting. That's nice. I like that. Right? It's not too bad. Accessories. Within the store, various accessories will be made available for purchase using points. Accessories that can be purchased with points will generally be non-licensed, high edition items allowing collectors to trick out their showrooms. So that's interesting. So the accessories are not what we thought they would be. Like they are not for the collectibles. You can't exchange hats and shoes and a cape or whatever. And it was also stated in the AMA, which I totally understand, is that it's too hard to switch stuff on the collectibles they have now. On the 3D models, it would mean you need a completely new 3D model. That makes a lot of sense. And they said maybe in the future they will have 3D models that have stuff that can be interchanged. That is interesting. But for now, it's only planned to have these accessories for the showroom, which is pretty cool, right? It's something nice. You can use your points if you don't use them for anything else. The stuff will usually be non-licensed, which makes a lot of sense because otherwise you would be going again for like something like a Star Trek wall or whatever, and those would be drops that are not easy to get. Those will also be high edition items. So this is like a way to spend your points, a way to shop around the app, the easy way, right? So that's interesting. Premium market listings, that's basically the stuff you know from eBay. That's pretty much the same. So you will have access to functions that will make your market listings more visible, but just a few percentage of that, so the market isn't overrun by premium market listings, which is smart. So that's pretty great. So MCP Pro, that's the subscription service, right? That's interesting. That's also a tough one. MCP Pro is designed for those collectors who want to take the collecting to the next level. With MCP Pro, collectors can gain exclusive features within Veve to grow their collection and access additional Pro-only features. Collectors in the top 6 ranks will automatically gain access to MCP Pro at no cost, whereas all other collectors who opt in will be charged a monthly subscription, pricing to be shared at a later date. The subscription will be accessible only above a specific level. So what was told in the AMA is it is only accessible only above a specific level, simply to make sure the system isn't gamed. So people don't just take 5 phones, make 5 new accounts and just pay the price for the subscription and use all these points, because you don't know what they would do with the points. You will need to be at a specific level that makes sure it's an active user to get access to MCP Pro. So the 6 top ranks, that means rank 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 will have it for free, which makes sense. Those are the top collectors. Everyone else will have to pay a subscription. So I guess it's really depending what the subscription will cost. If it's around $50 or less, I wouldn't mind. Then I'm sure in it, because I think it would make a lot of sense. If it's above, I really have to think about it, because I'm just not. Yeah, I mean, you need to you need to have an income that makes sure it's worth it, right? So features: small percentage bonus on all points earned. Interesting. Exclusive MCP Pro badges to display in showrooms. Another flex. Premium user profile badge, also flex. Display rarity and edition number next to collectibles in showroom and AR. That is big, right? Like if you have the ultra rare Spider-Man collectible and you have mint number 41, it's a big flex to present that in your showroom, right? So auto bid feature for market auction. That is also a big thing. That is, in my opinion, one of the biggest features for the MCP Pro. Like, this will basically work the same as in eBay. So you don't have to throw in amount X. You just say, okay, I will go up to $500 and it will continuously get higher until your $500 are eaten up. Same on eBay. Awesome. That's really awesome. Access to exclusive content, accessories and collectibles. That will be interesting. So I did make a note about 1 to 2 collectibles or accessories drops, but I didn't write down if it was per month or per week, so I'm not sure. I'm sorry. It was said in the AMA, but I didn't catch that. Burn collectibles for points. So that's also interesting. There will be a way to burn a collectible. That means we have 7,500 Todd Batmans, and you can basically go ahead and burn one of those Todd Batmans and gain points. And not just gaining points, burning that one would mean we will only have 7,499 Todd Batmans left. And this will be shown on the page of the Todd Batman. So there is a way to get your stuff way more expensive. And I'm afraid that at some point we could see that happen to a lot of the common comics. Because some people have a lot of stacks, they might go and burn them. So the roadmap is, they don't know when they will start with the MCP, but which is a good thing, right? Everyone was concerned that they didn't bring out all these articles soon enough, not on time when they promised them. So at this point they only say, okay, it's on the way, it's going to be soon, which I think is better. Better don't give a specific date instead of not keeping a date, right? So phase 1 will start with points, levels and ranks. In phase 2, we get a drop lottery. In phase 3, accessories, premium market listings and badges will arrive. And in phase 4, we finally get the MCP Pro subscription. So this is pretty nice. I guess there will be weeks, if not months, between those phases. And in the AMA it was said those phases are happening because the team wants to roll out the MCP program ASAP. But yeah, to be able to do that, they need to do it in phases. So that makes sense. So there's an FAQ. I talked about most of the stuff here already. Yeah, we points retroactive, top 6 ranks, collectibles. Yeah, so like I said, the collectibles you already had, all your time you already used. Even the collectibles you sold, you will still retroactively get points for it. Even if you sold them at this point. But you did hold them for a time and you get the points for that time. Will transferred collectibles count towards MCP? Yes, the only thing with the transferred collectibles are that you don't get the points for purchasing them. That's the one-off points. There's a little bit of question if you get 100 points to complete a set with those transferred ones. I think so. I even think I heard that in the AMA, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah. We know about that already. As I told you already too. Will we be able to use points in the Veveverse? Yeah, the Veveverse, we basically don't have to ask about the Veveverse. That was also told in the AMA. The Veveverse is a total work in progress, so you can give your ideas, but asking any specific things about the Veveverse makes no sense. They are not so far within the progress at this point. Same with the OMI utility. They will do another another page about that. So let me look at my notes if there's anything I forgot to tell you. Lottery, we talked about that. Yeah, for MCP Pro, it looks like that you will need level 10 to be able to participate in the subscription service, but that's not finalized yet. Okay, I guess I told you everything I wrote down already. Yeah, the retroactive points for activities in the app. So you basically will be able to get activities for posting and sharing and stuff, and maybe that's a little bit hard to keep track of that retroactively. So he wasn't sure if these points will also be applied retroactively. Maybe they weren't able to do that. I told you about that. Yeah, I told you about that also. So buying land on the Viviverse, it seems to be that will be a drop, a regular drop. So it's not a coming drop, but he said on the AMA, at least that's how I understood it, is that it basically the same as buying anything else on VV. There will be a drop, and that drop will be for land in the Viviverse. Yeah, and there was one question. It was basically that the points are a little bit unfair because people that have a lot of money, a lot of buying power, would be able to gain so many more points. And yeah, the main answer was that you are capable to buy everything else too. So, I mean, of course, you will need to have the money. And yeah, that's the thing about the Viviverse. I have to say, personally, I think this is a great thing. The MCP program is not as bad as I was afraid of, because I really thought there was a point, yeah, that it would be no fun to participate as someone who is not financially in the place to buy every drop. Like if you don't get the drop and you just go and buy the ultra rare, I'm not capable to do that at all. And I even had to sell my stuff today, but I don't think that's the case. I think it really is something everyone, at least mostly everyone, can participate in. It seems to be quite a fair program. Of course, you get a lot of perks for having much money and much sets and whatever, but that's unavoidable. That's the nature of the beast, right? You can't change that really. I think for what it is, they made it really, really fair. They have a lot of fail-safe programs in there to make sure that the system isn't played. Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's a great way they did it. Only dumb thing today was, and that's me talking about my drop now. So for today's drop, I didn't have any gems. I used 3 devices for my family and me. So me, my wife, my kid, right? So that's my 3 devices. And none of those devices had any gems left. So I sold 2 common comics and a 3rd common comic also. So the 2 commons I sold, I had doubles of those. So that wasn't too bad. I could sell them off easily. The 3rd one was a Captain America 1 common, mint number 13,000. That was hard to let go of. I sold it for 130 gems because I needed the gems desperately, but I didn't get anything in the drop. That sucks. And now with these news, the common comics will spike a little bit, so it's pretty hard to buy those back even. I mean, I'm not mad. I got the Captain America in the drop itself, so I spent $7 and I got 130 bucks out of it. I mean, minus the fees, but yeah, whatever. So it was still a good deal. I'm fine with that. But yeah, bad timing again, because it was the first time I had to sell something to get gems to participate in the drop. A little bit sad. So that was my drop. Yeah, at least, so like I said, I like the MCP program. Let me know what you think about it. Like, do you like it? Do you think it's unfair? I don't see where it's unfair. I mean, basically, I don't think it was made with the idea to be unfair. You can pretty much see they tried a lot to keep it fair for everyone. So this here is the announced drop. Oh, full screen might be a little bit hard to see. So that's the drop announced for Saturday, 8 a.m. Possibly 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. I guess that's when these should be releasing. Next Saturday, so it's Spider-Man, a blind box with a common and the ultra rare, and Captain America, also blind box with a common and the ultra rare. I'm not a fan of the common and ultra rare releases. I think they suck. They need something in between, because it really is a hit or miss thing. Like if you get the ultra rare, you're such a winner. If you get the common, there's a chance it's not even worth on the marketplace the same as you invested. And I mean, for me, if I get those two commons, I'm super happy, and I'm not going to sell them at all, right? I just love the characters, so I'm not going to sell those. But yeah, I just think it's a really hit or miss thing, so I would love to have a third thing in there, like an uncommon or even a rare, right? Also, if you don't know the characters, this is Spider-Man with the cloak of Doctor Strange, and that's a zombie Captain America, which is interesting because we know, right, the first appearance of the Marvel zombies with Fantastic Four 21, which was the false book, but whatever. And these are from the Disney Plus show What If. The What If show is basically doing the same what the What If comics were doing, but the What If comics were relating to comic book stories, while the What If show on Disney Plus is an animated show, but it's talking about the stories of in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so they are movies. If you've seen the show, if you haven't seen it, look it. If you have Disney Plus, go for it. But if you haven't seen the show, yeah, I can say it's a pretty nice animated show. I really liked it, and those characters are from there, so you know what they're about. Interesting, really interesting. So what Veve also did today, so they made this little poll here. Veve D MCP OPP BYOB. So interestingly enough, so of course it was going for the MCP, but having all these other stuff, you can know that if you know old school hip hop, because there's a group called Bell with Devo, and yeah, this is the single Do Me, or even the album, I don't know. But they had a song called Poison in the 90s, and if you hear it, you would remember it. I would show you the track, but I would get a strike from YouTube, so I'm not able to do that. So that was the first one. The second one is OPP is from Naughty by Nature. So most people would probably know who Naughty by Nature is. Also great hip hop group from the 90s. I'm a real hip hop head, so that's really down my alley. The third one is BYOB from System of the Dawn. So I didn't know that. I really had to check the internet for it to find out, right? And that was interesting because I was remembering the shout out for MF Doom they lately did with the Dr. Doom thing image and the text from MF Doom. So that's a lot of hip hop mentioning in all these days. So I don't know, maybe we do get a hip hop NFT at some point, like classic hip hop stuff. I don't know, released as NFTs. Sounds something Veve would do, right? Interesting new avenue they could pursue. So that's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring us an hip hop NFT, a classic 90s hip hop NFT. But we'll see. And last but not least, I want to show you this. This is the Veve set list. This pretty great tool. I will link it up in the description of this video. So here you can see which sets are the cheapest. You can see what are the sets, how much pieces are in the set, what's the current floor price for the set is, and the MCP points you would get for the set. This is pretty great overview. Thanks to anyone who did it. I don't know who did it, but whoever's done it did a good thing. So data is provided by Ecomi Wiki, so that makes sense. Awesome tool, especially now while we know how the MCP is going to work. So okay, so that's about it for the video. Thank you for staying with me. I mean, I guess this was maybe a little bit hard to watch. I'm really tired. It's 2:49 in the morning for me, so I really need to catch some sleep. Well, barely can look straight anymore. So yeah, like I said, let me know in the comments. I'm really, like, guys, really write me down in the comments what you think. I'm really interested. I need more comments, right? I want to have the kind of interaction going on here. Always asking for comments. I mean, leave a like. It's awesome if you leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you guys to subscribe. I just crushed the first 100 pieces, first 100 subscribers. Also, at this point, thank you to everyone who did subscribe. It's pretty great. Today is exactly 1 month since I started this channel, and to have 100 subscribers on exactly after 1 month is awesome. So I'm really happy about that. Thanks everyone who subscribed. I'm really thankful. And yeah, keep subscribing if you haven't. And otherwise, let me know in the comments, what do you think about the Master Collectors Program? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. I really am. That's what I do. I talk a lot on this channel. This is a super long video again, I know, but I'm really interested to hear what you have to say, right? So let me know what you think about the system, what you think is the problems, what you think they have done really well. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts about it. And let me know, how are you doing in the app, right? So that I find out. I'm really interested to know what type of collector feels what way about the system. That's what I want to know. So let me know, right? So I guess we see us tomorrow. If we don't, we will see us definitely on Saturday. And I wish you guys a lot of luck with the next drops. And yeah, see you guys soon. Thanks.